Alright, we're on to the finals of this tournament here. It's going to be Ribbons at Night versus Krillia Peyote. Ribbons playing Monoblock Aristocrats, one of the specials. One of the Ribbons specials. Going to play against Krillia Peyote, a new player for this season, who's on a very interesting deck, I would say. The best way I can describe it is just a blue-white Eternalized deck with a lot of like Eternalized creatures that don't mind hitting the graveyard and just coming back later. Those are going to be really interesting. I have no idea who's going to win. I would give it to Ribbons, just for experience level. The turn 2 Augur is going to come down for Ribbons. There's a fair amount of random zombies here. The Adore Pouncer is quite good at holding down this army. Ribbons feels fine about trading these creatures because he does get a card out of it. Look at the Ribbons deck here. There are a fair amount of zombies, Putrid Goblin and Undead Augur. Goblin, weird like Goblin zombie mesh up here with a bunch of non-goblins and non-zombies. So Sinuous Striker coming down, another just random Eternalized creature. The most random creatures coming into play here, but they all do love being in the graveyard. And Eternal Scourge, a 2/3. It's kind of good on this board, to be fair. Double Horror Specs, though. Oh, jeez. This attack only means that Krillia definitely has a Wrath. That just screams. This screams Wrath, really. Or maybe it just doesn't matter of trading creatures or anything like that. The 4/4 Pouncer is going to come through. 4/4 Double Strike's really scary against the Aristocrat style deck. But if I know Ribbons, he's always has a way out of these things. Gatekeeper, not too bad. But like I said, Eternalized creatures, they just come back again. And we're at the magic 5 mana spot from the Krillia deck, where everything pretty much costs about 5 to Eternalize. 4 of your Sun Surge champion. And this is a scary attack. There's no good trades here. It's either take 8 or just block. Ribbon's deciding to block, gets a card off of it from the horror specs. And another champion's coming down, gains 2 life. 2 champions, in fact. The 2/3s is kind of getting it done. Ribbons has a full grip, but let's see what he's got. Sling Gang produces a bunch of blockers. I think that's pretty much all they're going to do for a while. Yeah, Page Dribbles is all about just finding these niche. Buddy clutch the finals. Not today, Bob. The Goblin's gonna come step right in front of the zombie cat, but Sling Gang kind of allows it to kind of get some value out of it. Though you can't draw a card because Horror Spec says non-token creature. Draw a card. And the innocuous 1/1 Double Strike cat's coming down. And probably Eternalize. Looks like he's Eternalizing the Sinuous Striker. Or thinks different of it. I guess he's just thinking different of it. Really, he has a superior board, so I think there's no reason to do this. Ooh, Grave Pact. That's Grave Pact's gonna be a great way to kind of mitigate these kind of, I don't know, recurring creatures. I don't know what else to call it. A Haunted of Seeing wins off the top for Krillia. The I'm not surprised. I can see all the deck lists, but this is just surprisingly crazy what this deck does. Descend rotates out. Well, there's this card. Sorry, you don't get. I mean, you don't get the. You get the flyers, but you get exile. All right, so we've got the little mini combo: double horror specs, sling gang, putrid goblin. Tommy Cakes in the chat, thinking of a thinking conspiracy theories over there, which is you're not wrong. If there's no exile effects, like this is what's happening. Grave Pack's just gonna start picking off these creatures. The Gatekeeper taking out the Pouncer. Wow, this board is clear, but for how long? Here's the thing, though, that I think Ribbons has done really well is that the Eternalized creatures are very expensive. So now he's very much like oh, and then the Carrion Feeder is just gonna take out any creature. But anyways, the Eternalized creatures are really big, so the mana is gonna get tied up. And wow, Krillus is gonna tap out. Concedes game one to this incredible board. Ribbons just drew a ton more cards there, and then slammed his Grave Pack down. Grave Pact, 3 of in this deck. A big part, apparently, of the strategy here. Scary card for sure. And Ribbons has a lot of ways to just kind of like make clear advantage with it. So let's see what comes out on the board here. Clearly the board has a more days. I don't know if Day Jump's even that good against them. Mimic Vat, Control Magic, Oblivion Ring, Nevermore, and then second Honden. Really not sure. Day Judgment doesn't seem too bad. Really just like Ribbons is kind of just like a the Risk deck's more about a deck that's just like to stay on board. On the other side, a ton of one-ofs from Ribbons. I don't even know where to start. Scrabbling Claw seems pretty great. The 4th Grave Pack seems really nice. Maybe a Ravenous Chupacabra just kind of takes out creatures. Block the Plank just kind of kills any of these creatures. Let's see. Curly's gonna be on the play. This best of 3. Oh, he took the draw. Interesting. Curly decided to take the draw in this matchup. So Ribbons leads off with Carrion Feeder. Curly's just gonna play a land. Ooh, the aggro start. Carrion Feeder into Putrid Goblin. This is Modern Horizons draft all over again. Never mind, Adorn Pouncer. This is Chaos draft all over again. Ooh, Spawning Pit coming down. Nice sacrifice outlet for any color. These creatures do not mind trading here. But I think Ribbons gets the better half of it, because he's always going to get the Goblin back. Sunscourge Champion gonna come down, gain some life for Krylia here, and kind of gum up the board for a minute. Undead Augur coming down. All the creatures here are zombies. Future Goblin being a zombie goblin. So combos with both the Undead Augur and the Slinging Lieutenant. O-Ring though is probably gonna take out the Undead Augur, I would say. Yeah. This is not the greatest trigger, because you can always just sack it to either the Spawning Pit or the Carrion Feeder. So I have to put the charge counter on the Spawning Pit. First on the Putrid Goblin itself. And then probably just sacking the Goblin? Or the Undead Augur here. With another charge counter. So 2 charge counters makes a 2/2 colorless spawn token. One would think, like, why not take out the spawning pit? Maybe that would have been the right target. We'll see. Let's see if Ribbons makes a creature here. I think he will. Yeah. Spawn token has been activated. You've never seen this before in your life, but here it is. Probably doesn't exist in real life. This thing was made in dark steel, so I don't know if they made tokens back then. Right. Gatekeeper Malakir with kicker. Gonna take out the Sunscourge champion. We're 1 mana away from the Eternalize mana. Although Sunscourge champion takes 4 to internalize, so it's not too bad. Back for 3, Clearly goes to 20. Ribbons sets nice board here. Actually kind of Day of Judgment proof with a spawning pit. They can all just get stacked to the pit. But it looks like the cat's gonna come to play. Zombie cat coming in. Knowing Ribbons, he probably has a response. Cycles Baronmore. Ooh, I like the Claws here. Just takes out the Eternalize. I think Claws is going to be a very big player in this matchup. The Consuming Vapors, nice. Consuming Vapors is pretty much going to like prevent really from even playing a second creature because you don't want your opponent to get value out of that with the rebound. So it kind of just like stops him and distracts. Maybe it doesn't stop him. Another O-Ring probably takes out either Claws or Spawning Pit. Right, Spawning Pit, dead. I'm pretty sure that Krillia is trying to set up a Wrath, or sorry, Day of Judgment in hand. So that's why taking out the Spawning Pit's nice, because it doesn't... He doesn't get any value out of that. Right, rebounds coming down. Not gonna find any targets, unless Ribbons decides to target himself. Which you can do. It is a legal magic move. Right, Undead Augur... Gonna find a little bit of value if the Wrath comes through. There's 2 zombies in play, the Carried Feeder and the Undead Augur. This is just a spawn token. Alright. Maybe there's no Wrath, maybe it's just Sunzer champion. Needs another 2. Really struggling to keep up here, I would say. But Ribbon's down to 1 card. Wouldn't mind a Wrath. Ooh, Curator Mysteries coming down. Big bodies on the Krillia side. Interesting spot. Double Undead Augur for Ribbon. So the cards are... The card draw could happen if Ribbons decides to just start sacking Undead Augurs to the Carrion Feeder. That's what he's going to do. He sacrifices 1 of them. Gets another 2 cards. And another Carrion Feeder. Probably gets sacked to the feeder. The original feeder. Another card's drawn, another life lost. You could cash in the Claws. I don't really actually suggest that right now, just because of the Sunscourge champion on the field already. Probably not the greatest idea. Ooh, Slinging Lieutenant coming down. Is it a zombie goblin or just a goblin? Just a goblin. Cycles the Curator. Interestingly, cycling it versus just playing the Curator. I think actually just playing the Curator would have been better. Also, interestingly, he cycled it on his main phase, so it probably meant he just drew that. Because I think you wanted to cycle in your upkeep to take advantage of the scry here. Watcher for tomorrow. Looks for a card. It's a new addition to the season. It's been pretty useful to a lot of different players so far. Kind of says draw a card. Kind of. If you squint real hard, it says draw a card. No great attacks here for Aquila, so he's gonna pass. The superior board state of Ribbons. Ribbons kind of flooded here, I would say. The last Augur is gonna eat it. The feeder. Feeder's now's got a lot of fodder here. Cycles Baron more, wow. The cards keep flowing, but not looking super great. Ooh, walk the plank on Curator here. Big attack. That's just to block the feeder, just to save the life. Alright. I get now's a good time to cash in the claws. You can't let him actually eternalize this thing. I think a Grave Pact would seal it here. I think it's just trying to dig for a Grave Pact. It looks pretty bad to begin with anyway. I think a Day Judgment would be pretty nice. Really, it's gotta just get one right here. Here he comes. Really gonna go to 4 for this from the Sling Gang Goblin. Gonna sacrifice his 2 goblins. And the Watcher's gonna get that card face down, and we don't know what it is though. Be anything. Could even be a boat. Alright, Ribbons. All the mana in the world. 3 cards. Let's see what he's got. Any creature I think would do on this board, but he passes. Interesting. Thalia's Lancers coming down. What legendary card can we get with Thalia's Lancers? Well, there's a Hondin, and there's In Bolus's Clutches. The sort of confiscate. It's gonna get the Hondin. I like the Hondin here. I do like the Hondin. He's gonna need some more cards before Ribbons starts to rebuild the board. Another land comes down. Alright, Gatekeeper with Kicker. Gonna take out these Lancers. I don't know if really has enough time to kind of draw a bunch of cards here, but that looks to be the plan. Ooh, a champion probably off the top, coming in the clutch. You might clutch this out. This is going to be really close. Hondin's going to come down, and Curly just needs a bunch of time now. He just needs all the time in the world. Grim Horror Specs for Ribbons, and a Grave Pact. So this is kind of a free attack. Either you take 2 or you lose your guy. So he's going to draw a card. Oh, the value. The value! Oh, but meanwhile, Curly's going to draw an extra card a turn now. Pretty much for the rest of the game. Sunster Champion gets eternalized here as a 4/4. It gains 4 life. A Healthy 11, and then a Watcher for tomorrow is going to find another card. This isn't back and forth. I actually don't know who's going to win this at this point. It looks good on Ribbons' side. The Grave Pact is very threatening, though a lot of lands are coming. That's 10 lands. This Hondin is going to do some work. I've never thought I'd say that ever, but this Hondin is going to do some work. Champion coming into the red zone. Ooh. Now that, like, Krylia has the advantage in creatures, he can actually fight through the Grave Pact. And a magazine of this coming down, that would kill everything. that could kill the Grave Pact, but also his O-rings here. Right, Mesmeric Fiend, just here to say hello. And another land from Ribbons. That's a ton of lands. I feel like he's seen so many cards. Oof, Control Magic on the Horror Specs. Actually, good against Grave Pact. Really says, hey, I don't mind losing any of these creatures. We're going to game 3? Wow. The flood is real on Ribbons' side. That look at this flood. Look at 11 lands here. You're clearly gonna take this. It was looking grim, but then a Day of Judgment came down, and then really just rebuilt the board. Wow. This is this is a match. This is Penny Dreadful in a nutshell. Like if there was ever like an advertisement for Penny Dreadful, I think it's this match here. The crazy amount of cards that you've seen here has just been so interesting. Who puts like Watcher of Tomorrow and like I don't know, Day of Judgment, like Honden? Who puts deck together? Who puts these decks together? You cannot get this anywhere else. You actually can't get this in either format. For sense. For sense. Not enough counter spells. Yeah, well, that's the other side. Penny Dreadful. Gotta work on that Aristocrats matchup, huh? Tommy Cakes. Yeah, this has been a really interesting match. A lot of just back and forth here. Like a lot of things happened. Like Corellia took the draw. Corellia took the draw, knowing that it would go very long, and 15 turns later, he decided to win. Knowing that he's probably the control deck in this matchup. I'm so excited to see his game 3. I'm actually really pumped. And why he's on Internalized. Man, I would have bet you on this, but I don't know now. I'm still with Ribbons. I just know Ribbons, and like he just claws and scratches on everything, so he's really good at just like making the most out of every play. So I still have Ribbons here. I think Ribbons just like clearly got unlucky. You could see the 11 lands in play. I think like Grave Pact was like a big player in the game 1, which how he won. So I think an early Grave Pact plus like a lot of cheap creatures could really just like turn the tides of like um all the eternalized synergies. Yeah, this is a crazy matchup. But I would have like totally bet against you at the beginning. In the beginning of this match, I would have like 100% taken this bet, but now I'm not really sure. Ribbon's going to be in the play here for this final game, our Paint Triple Monday tournament. Right. Turn to Putrid Goblin. Really just a strong start here. Watcher for tomorrow for Corellia. Gonna find a card. Put it away for a second. We'll come back later. This ugly back. I don't know why Magic Online does this. Let's get the classic back. Who likes the classic back? Do you like this back more? Or do you like the classic back? I'm a classic back guy. O-ring on this putrid goblin. Very aggressive O-ring. That's the most aggressive O-ring I've seen yet. Maybe he's flush. I would say he's just flush with O-rings. Singling? Alright. This guy's been really impressive for me. I like this guy a lot. Bottom Cloister for Corellia here. Gonna set up that card advantage engine. Bottom Cloister is actually pretty amazing against the Mesmeric Fiends of Ribbons here. Wow. So Fiend is just no longer good, I guess. Alright, but here's the Grave Pact, the difference maker in game one. So an early Grave Pact is probably gonna help out a lot. I think now is the time to find an O-ring on this Grave Pact for sure. I think if he was like really eager to use that O-ring on the Putrid Goblin, then he probably has a second one. And here it comes. He's gotta hit this Grave Pact. But he takes out the rights. Wow. Okay. I'm not following this yet, but we'll see what happens. I'm not in the finals, I can tell you that much. Another... Really is already up a billion cards here. Yeah, 6 lands from Ribbons. He had a good start, but he's starting to flood a little bit. And the Bottom of Cloister is probably negating like a bunch of random stuff from Ribbons. 7 lands? No. No, what's happening? You can curse, you don't have to do that. There you go. Sunscourge Champion's gonna eat it. Really, though, Ribbons is not set up for any card advantage here. There's no... Maybe... Maybe Krulio's right. Maybe just taking the Vampiric Rice was good. Maybe he realizes what the matchup is about here. O-Ring's gonna take up now the Grave Pact. And the Innocuous Cat, the 1/1. Wow. This has been something else. Are we gonna see Ribbons? Arguably, no, it's not really arguable. He is literally the best player in Penny Dreadful. Get taken out by the newcomer here, Krylia. Alright, Walk the Plank's gonna take out the Pouncer. All I can do is just kind of chip away. 13 turns of just killing one creature a turn. But we're at the magic 5 mana slot, actually 7 mana, that any of these Eternalized creatures could come down. I think it looks like he's gonna play... Is he playing an X spell? Undecided here. I understand that Krylia is from Italy, so it's probably about 6 a.m. over there. 6 to 7 a.m. Internalize the champion. Gonna be a 4/4. Discard is a Magus. Probably Magus is just not really good on this board. Probably not good. Alright, second Grave Pact for the Sling Gang. If you can find some more goblins. Ooh, he's gonna do it. He's gonna sack this goblin to his Galthus champion. Kind of a desperate move, but I think it's fine. He's gotta preserve his life total a little bit, even though he's at 21. There's just so many cards from Krylia, though. It's just... This is crazy here. Yeah, the other side, Ribbons is from Australia. Or, I think New Zealand. I'm not really sure which is the two, but... I think he'd hate me if I knew... if I didn't get it right, so... He's from that area. Alright, Resetting Skeleton. Kind of a nice one if he finds a sack outlet. It's really great with Grave Pact. So we're not out of this yet. Oh, but Control Magic coming down. It's gonna take the skeleton before anything can happen. Even his sleep. I know, right? But this board is too much. I don't think Ribbons has any outs to this. Barring some, like, Mutilate or some crazy thing like that. A Slinging would be very nice, but another land comes, and that's gonna be it. Krylia's gonna win this tournament. Blue-White Eternalize over Mono Black Aristocrats. I did not think I was gonna say that, but again, Ribbons did flood out. But this engine was crazy. This engine, look at this. Look at this. And now the winner's gonna play Bob Bunny. No, it's not gonna happen. Because Bob Bunny's not in the tournament. That was a crazy result, though. Congrats to the Boy Eternalized deck.